I went on a makeup shopping spree in Daiso, Korea, and the prices I paid were a steal. When you think of beauty shopping in Korea, everyone always flocks to Yong, which is an amazing place, don't get me wrong, but there's one place that's flying under the radar, and that's Daiso. I know what you're picturing, the typical Daiso aisles filled with cheap miscellaneous brands that most of us wouldn't find that appealing. But in Korea, Daiso just hits different. Their beauty section is so well stocked up with enticing brands that are insanely affordable that you might actually think that it's too good to be true. At least I did. You can find products that are very cheap, like this groovy makeup palette for only 1,000 won, which is less than 80 cents. There's eyeliners that cost 2,000 to 3,000 won, and you can even find foundation for as little as 5,000 won. Now, these brands aren't just any random brands. Daiso actually collaborated with major Korean beauty brands like Clio, Too Cool for School, The Same, and came out with sister brands offering very affordable makeup. So it's not only well priced, but it's also made by well-known beauty companies. Being the K-beauty fanatic that I am, you know I just had to try it out. So I'm bringing back Tina Tries It and putting these products to the test. Will they actually be good, or are they cheap for a reason? The first brand that I'm going to try is this one called Drop B Colors. It's a spin-off brand from The Same, which are known for their concealers and corrector palettes. This is the Water Pick Foundation, which is a vegan formula. It's supposed to be a moisturizing foundation with SPF 50, plus it has whitening, which I think they mean brightening, effects and anti-aging properties. So I'm kind of thinking it's more like a BB cream. Let's see how it applies. The shade I got is shade number 2. Unfortunately, the shade range is very limited with only 2 shades. Number 1 and 2. I would be the dark shade, so apologies for all my darker complexion gals out there. I feel like it could be a match. I'm usually a 23 in Korean foundations, and this looks like a tiny little bit darker. So I'm just going to apply it on with a brush, and oh my god, did it just get lighter? Okay. I'm just gonna touch it and blend it in with my fingers to feel the texture. It is very thin and lightweight, and I feel like, yeah, it is kind of watery. It is called the Watery Pick Foundation, so it's very thin. They also had another formula that's, I think a matte formula that maybe had a little bit higher coverage, because this one is very, very light. There's a subtle scent, but it smells nice. It's not like strong or anything. Honestly, if you told me this was like a $3 foundation, I could not tell. You can see the finish is like a hydrated, dewy finish, which I love. You definitely need to set this to make it last all day, but to me, it kind of feels more like a tinted moisturizer. Like, it doesn't have high coverage. You can see here on my hand that it really doesn't cover up that much. I have this filter on now. I just have like snow skin, that snow skin app look. Zen saying it looks like my skin, but better, which I like the sound of that. I'm gonna quickly just do this side. I'm a lazy person, and this is giving me really good results. What? This is making me think about how much of a markup other beauty brands have on their foundations. I just quickly concealed a tiny bit, and now I'm just going to powder just to set this, and then we can move on to the next product. Next up is a brand called Tag. This is a sister brand created by Too Cool for School. So of course I had to try out this contour palette that they launched. This is the dual multi-shading palette. There's 2 colors available. Number 1 is Soft Warm and 2 is Mono Cool. I got the Soft Warm palette. It is a very natural contour. Even when I swatched it on my hand, it's like very soft and subtle, which is what K-beauty brands tend to go for. So I'm gonna just mix the 2 shades together and then just blend it on the areas that I normally contour. Is it a little bit patchy, or is it me? It's kind of looking patchy to me, but I'm like thinking, is it because I didn't fully powder everywhere? Maybe I missed a spot. Let me just do this side. Okay, so that's looking nice and well blended. This side, it's a tad bit patchy, but that's my fault for not powdering properly. There's nothing that I can really fault about this. The colors are soft though. That's the thing with Korean contour palettes. It leans a lot more natural. So if you like a dramatic contour, you're gonna need layers of this stuff. So not recommended, but if it's just like some soft contouring for every day, I think this $3.85 palette, it does the job. For my nose, I'm going to use the slightly lighter shade. Just going to contour the bridge part and then the tip. And then whatever's left on my brush, I'll just connect the two very softly. It works, it works. Next is a blush and highlight palette. This one is called Mood Blush Beam and I got shade number 1, Bare Coral. When I swatched this on my arm, it looked really nice, especially the highlight shade. So I want to actually apply the highlighter shade first because I learned that from Barbara Beer makeup. He does the highlight shade first to get that glowy skin and then blush after. It's very, very soft. The glitter pigments in this, they're very fine, so it gives off just like a very soft, subtle glow. So this is a nice coral shade. This one's for warmer skin tones. So I'm just popping that in between highlight and the contour. This is surprisingly pretty pigmented, like compared to a lot of like the other brands, especially K-Beauty. They usually go for a very soft wash of color, but I feel like this one pops. Do some on the nose because we can. I'm just looking at the palette to see if a lot of pigment comes out. It's good, like it's well packed. You know, some cheapy makeup, when you just brush the brush over it, there's so much like powder that comes out, but this one's well packed. So far so good. Can't fault that. Another product that I got from Tag is a Brow Mascara. I got light brown. There's 2 shades. It's like dark brown and light brown. I actually don't know why I picked the light brown. Maybe it was an accident or maybe I was just feeling like I want lighter brows. So I'm gonna apply this on my brows before filling it in because that's another tip that I learned from a makeup artist. Just gonna brush my brows up. I don't know if you can tell, but my brows are laminated. They're very like fluffed up because if you haven't heard, I launched a brow lamination product, Perky Perm. Shameless plug right here. It's now available on Coriel.com. So go cop a brow lamination product to support your girl. You can use my family and friends discount code TINA20 to get 20% off. Link is in my description box. So with the brow mascara, I really want to cover every single hair so that it looks lighter. Can you see the difference? Afterwards, I'll fill in the sparse areas. So far, this formula is nice. It's not clumping. Actually, light brown isn't that light after all. It looks still pretty good on me. This is what it looks like. It does the job, guys. It's quite nice too. Moving on to the next brand that I got. It's called Twinkle Pop. And I'm pretty excited to use this one because it's by one of my favorite K-Beauty brands, Clio. I am a huge Clio fan. They're pretty much like famous for everything, like their mascaras, their eyeshadow palettes, foundation, lips. They're just a good all-rounder. This is called the Twinkle Pop Glitter Layering Eye Palette in number 2 pink layer. There's 2 matte shades and then this shade has a little bit of glitter specks, whilst this one is like that super reflective glittery color. I'm gonna do a wash of that pink. I just have a little bit of that foundation I applied before and I've powdered it, so this can just layer on top. The formula feels pretty much the same as like the Clio eyeshadow palettes that I have. If you're a beginner, definitely check out some Korean eyeshadow palettes. Number 1, they're not super pigmented, so you can just layer and work with the colors, especially as a beginner. They're very easy to blend. I'm also gonna pop some underneath. Now I'm going to apply that glittery shade, pack it on. Where's the glitter? Where you at? Very subtle. Just little hints of it. Definitely looks better when I apply it with my finger. Can you see it a little bit? Yes? Let's go into that brown. I'm just gonna use it to define my lash line and just drag out that tail a little bit. And then I'm just gonna blend a little bit on the outer corner just to deepen it up, tiny bit. I have to be honest, guys, I don't know if I'm a huge fan of this color palette because it does lean more cool and I just tend to like wearing a lot more warmer colors, so I don't really know what possessed me to choose this color. It looked pretty, okay? Does it look that pretty on me? Questionable. Cool colors on me, if not done well, can make me look like I've been punched in the eye. Ooh, the glitter feels a little bit more creamy. Let's do that in the center. Okay. I see you. Okay, suddenly that just elevated everything. Looks so much better. I just needed some sparkle in my life because, you know, baby, I'm a star. The cheesiest thing I've said in 2024. Next up, we've got this liquid eyeliner from a brand called The Bomb. The Bomb Diggity Bomb. No, it's just called The Bomb. I think this is one of like Daiso's house brands. I couldn't really find it, like, it's not like a sister brand of some other big company. And yeah, the packaging is very different. It leans more like typical Daiso looking package, if you know what I mean. What's with my fingers? So it's like a chunky eyeliner with a felt tip. It's a felt tip. Is that what you say? I don't even know how to be a beauty blogger anymore. It's been so long. Okay, let's just go in. So far, easy to control, does a very fine flick. I only did like a little bit on the outer corner because I did get my eyeliner tattooed. I don't know if you've seen that video, but I just want to flip my eyelid to show you guys what it looks like healed in case you've watched that video. I got it in brown because that's my go-to color for every day. It's like a dark brown. It kind of looks black on camera though. Okay, so I've just finished my eyeliner. First impressions, I kind of like the feel of like a thicker eyeliner pen. Feels more stable to me. It's a little bit chunkier than what I'm used to, but I kind of like it. Like, you know when you use like a normal pen and you write, it feels nicer on the hand. Now, one thing that I like to do is blend a little bit more eyeshadow to diffuse and kind of like soften the liquid liner out. I'll just add some more of that dark brown on top. Then from the same brand, I got like 4 different types of eyeliners. And these eyeliners are designed for the eye bag to highlight and contour your eye bags. So I got both the cream pencil formula and the liquid liner formula. When I swatched the cream pencil ones, which is something that I'm more used to, it feels a lot easier to use and easier to blend. With the liquid ones, I feel like if you want more definition, this could be a good option. But yeah, I've never actually tried a liquid for under the eyes, so I'm keen to see how this will perform. I'm gonna do the nude one first and just use it to highlight my bag so I can just give you the stink eye, not intentionally, just so I can map out my bag. You see the difference there? Then I'm gonna grab like the brown, the contour shade, and again, stink eye mode. Follow that natural shadow. Ta-da! Can you see how it's made my eyes look a little bit bigger and a little bit like, I wanna say cuter, you know? So that's just me applying it. I didn't have to blend it because the color is actually pretty suitable for my skin tone. I actually really like how these creams look. It looks natural in a way, like it's not too cartoony and too obvious. But if you like it more out there, I think that's when these liquid liners will come in handy. This one's a nude color liquid formula. You can see it's a bit more obvious. The tip of this is a felt tip. The contour shade or the eye bag liner, this one's a brush tip. Basically it looks like when your eyeliner dries out and it's like almost on its last leg. The color's very light, it's very like translucent, not like your typical eyeliners that's super pigmented. This just gives like a watercolor wash. What I'm gonna do with the liquid is just use it in the center of my bag, like where it lines up with my pupil, just to give it a little bit more pop. That's the plan. Oh wow, it's like I'm using paint. Oh no. And blend it out a bit. The liquid highlight is a lot stronger. A little bit goes a long way. And then I'll use the liquid liner just again underneath in the center. I don't think I've ever spent this long on my eye bags. It's taken me longer than doing the top. How's it look? Very cute. Now I'm just gonna go back in with eyeshadow and exaggerate my liner to make my eyes even bigger, because you know, the bigger their eyes, the better I can see cheap prices of makeup. See, I feel like that highlight is great for like making the exaggerated eyeliner pop. Okay, I've turned myself into a doll, but I like these eyeliners because I don't think I even have any liquid highlighters and contour shades for my eye bags. So it's a very specific product for a specific area, and it works. I definitely think that combining both the cream formula and the liquid formula, it does have a more prominent effect. But if you were to choose either one, I would choose probably the pencil, the gel cream formula. It's just more everyday friendly. For eyebrows, I got this wooden eyebrow pencil in what color? Natural brown. Now this was $2.30 and it came with a sharpener. Like, is that not a steal? I got this pencil because it kind of looked like it could be a dupe for the Shu Uemura hard 9 pencils, natural and smudge free formula. I used to use the Shiramura one on my makeup clients, especially when doing bridal, because it gives you like the softest look. And I kind of want to see if it's similar. So the difference between like a hard formula and just the normal like creamy eyebrow pencils is that this one doesn't really show up as well on bare skin, but if you have foundation, it will show up and give you a better natural result. So if you're heavy-handed, something like this would be really good if you're a beginner as well, because you don't overdo your brows. So I'm just gonna use this to fill in the sparse areas of my brow. It probably doesn't look like much is happening, but it is like very gently and softly just filling in those sparse areas. The good thing about this pencil, it's hard for you to overdo your brows because the pigment is so soft when it applies. Here's what my brows are looking like. They're full and fluffy now. For mascara, I got this one from Twinkle, the Cleo sister brand. Why did I get brown again? This is a brown mascara, I think because the black ran out and I just had to settle for this one. But you know, we can go for that like natural look with my very exaggerated eye bags. Just from the packaging, I can see that it's got little fibers. So hopefully it will lengthen my little short lashes. Is this gonna be like the Kill Lash, my favorite one? Not really, I don't feel it. Hello lashes. Second coat maybe? Definitely adding length now. I just needed like an extra coat. Maybe I didn't load the brush up enough. This mascara needs a little bit more work building up the layers and letting the fibers dry in between the layers. So I'm doing like 3 coats to get the desired length that I want. I mean, it could always be a little bit longer, but you know, like without it looking too spidery. So here what you're looking at is 3 coats of mascara. Look, it does the job, but it's not my favorite because it just requires a little bit more time and work to get my lashes to pop. I'm just gonna quickly apply my lashes from the Petite Club. This style is called Be Mine. They're a very light, thin, natural pair that I can apply underneath my lashes. So what I do is I cut them into 4 little clusters, and then I'll apply a little bit of glue on the band, let that get tacky, and then apply the clusters underneath my natural lashes. I like to apply my lashes this way to get a really natural look. And here you guys can see the difference with lashes and without. Moving on to lips, I got these 2 lip pencils. They're called the Twinkle Pop Over Lip Pencil. This one is cool pink and this one is ash beige, which is like a lip contour color. So I see like people kind of contour up here and then down here to make their lips look fuller. Oh, that's weird. It looks very ashy. And then I'll use this shade like all over. Basically, this is like a chunky lip liner pencil. I kind of feel like that contour shade should have been a little bit higher, right where the filtrum is, and then blend up. I'm gonna go back to that highlighter shade and just like highlight my Cupid's bow. That's what my lips are looking like. The combo works. It's just a little bit odd when I try to contour too much, but I couldn't get any lipsticks because they were all sold out. So we're just gonna have to settle for this lip lined look. It looks like a matte lipstick. Maybe I'll grab some gloss. Here is my final makeup look using all Daiso Korean makeup. Guys, I'm so amazed at the quality of these. If I were to blind test these, I wouldn't actually be able to tell the difference between like the mainstream K-beauty products and these cheaper, more affordable Daiso collaborations. If you guys want to watch more of my content, click the video on screen and don't forget to subscribe. I'll speak to you guys next time. Bye!